Ever since I left Christianity, I decided to go on a journey inward and heal. I feared the God of the Bible so much so, I was living my day-to-day in anxiety. Hello, I'm Alexa, and on this channel, we are Unplugged. Unplugged from everything we once thought we knew. Here, I question old belief systems, I explore spirituality, and I discuss the magical phenomena that has been taking place, because I feel like, as a collective, we're starting to wake up. So if that sounds like that's for you, you're in the right place. So prior to coming across esoteric teacher Bill Donahue,
to the aspect of meditation, then you begin to see things and your desires change because you start to conform with the changes inside of you so that you look at things outside much differently than you did before. Your desires are nowhere near what they used to be.
I was meditating here and there. I knew about meditation. I was actually meditating with guided meditations. I did creative meditations. In other words, I would meditate and let my thoughts take me to places rather than just clearing my mind. I've had mystical moments when I did meditate like this, but nothing like what I'm about to share with you guys. Back in December, I lost my ability to swallow food. Yeah, I was on a liquid diet. I dropped 30 pounds. It was hard, but I knew it happened for a reason. And just to give a little context, I went through a very rough patch in December. So stress was up, emotions were high, and so that led to disease. Because stress leads to disease, especially if you're not tackling it the way you should. I also made a video on that. If you want to hear about the story, I go more into depth of what I did to heal. I will post the link right up here, whichever side. But just for a little context, I lost a friend in December. He passed away. I started a new job, had conflict with family. It was just a back-to-back month. Once I lost my ability to swallow food, I realized this happened for a reason. This didn't come out of nowhere. What can I do to heal? And so that's when I looked into Joe Dispenza.
When you get beyond beta brainwaves and you move into alpha, you start opening the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, we're not just looking for any type of alpha, but we're looking for coherent alpha. So we want all those compartments that were firing in different rhythms and different frequencies, all of a sudden start doing this. So now the whole entire brain starts moving into what's called global coherence. Now,
and I read his book, Becoming Supernatural. That book is amazing, by the way. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest reading it. What Dr. Joe Dispenza does is he gives you different kinds of meditations to do, but they all lead to the same effect, a mystical experience and healing the body. It's disassociating yourself from your old personality and going into the new personality through the quantum field. But that might be for another video because I don't want to get off topic. I found this meditation of his, and I believe it's called Tapping into New Potentials. And I was doing that meditation like 3-4 times a week, and then doing my own meditations, the kind where you just sit and clear your head. I believe that's referred to as transcendental meditation. And so there were days where I didn't feel much out of my meditations. I felt like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then there were days where I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. If you're a meditator, you would know what I'm talking about. Some meditations feel like nothing really happened, and some you feel like, wow, I really needed that. But no, once I did the Tapping into New Potentials meditation, that's where things shifted. It felt real. And I would come out of my meditation like, I'm home. This is my body. It's so trippy, so weird, so effective. 2 months later, me and my girlfriend decide to take a trip to New York for the Super Bowl to visit my dad. And at this time, I still can't swallow food. I'm eating soup and protein shakes for breakfast. I could say it was a miserable time, but recognizing how disease works, I knew I had work to do. And so I was able to detach from that whole, I'm miserable because I can't eat food. No, I really wasn't miserable. And I do believe that the meditations helped with that. It helped calm my mind. It gave me a whole new perspective to healing. And it was actually a process that I was really immersing myself into and enjoying the process, as weird as that sounds. So we went to New York, and I was anxious as soon as I got off the plane because I'm like, what am I gonna eat? I was so hungry. Mind you, I haven't stepped foot inside a restaurant because just being around people and eating food made me anxious because I can't swallow food, and I don't want people looking at me like, oh, she's weird because she can't swallow her soup. I don't know. And so that day we went to a soup kitchen and it was packed, but the soup was so good and I managed to eat it. The next morning, me and my girlfriend decided, let's go to a diner and let's see if you can have some pancakes and eggs. And that was very adventurous of me. Something magical happened in that diner. I'm sitting down, the waitress took our order. I ordered pancakes and I think it was eggs Benedict. I don't know, they were very soft and it looked like a hard-boiled egg. I forgot the name. I take a bite of the pancake, I'm chewing, and then I swallow. Whoa, I can swallow a pancake. I took a bite of the egg. Whoa, I can swallow the egg. And in that moment, I felt so much gratitude. I felt high. I was just like, wow, like I can have breakfast. Granted, swallowing the breakfast wasn't easy still. Like it went down my throat very slowly, but it still happened. I had to take my time eating. That's how bad it was. But I managed to eat it. It took me about an hour, but I did it. And so I felt so much gratitude in that moment. And I remember telling my girlfriend, this is gonna be a magical day. And it was a magical day. There was supposed to be a snowstorm. I haven't seen my friends in several years and they weren't planning on coming to the city because of the snowstorm. A few hours later, they hit me up and they're like, we're gonna come and see you despite the snowstorm, which really made my day even more. We go into a chocolate store and it's Belgian chocolate, expensive. Like a box is like $75, $100. I go up to the guy and I ask him, do you sell these individual? He was like, on the house. We got chocolate. It was just a very magical day. When I came back home, I had this new confidence that, yeah, I could swallow food. So let me start introducing new things to my diet. This video isn't about my healing journey, but that's just some context. Because with these meditations, things were leading up to the experience that I'm about to share with you guys. Just hang on. Oh, by the way, this is the mug of the diner we went to where I had that magical experience, and I was like, I gotta get this mug as a reminder of how magical life is and how grateful I should be every day. So if you're ever in New York, visit the Comfort Diner. The food was so good and the atmosphere was just amazing. Okay, so there was a point in time, I'd say a month later, where me and my girlfriend went to this park. It's like a reserve, just nature, forest, and she had shrooms. I think she microdosed a little bit, and I was able to witness her. I've never tried it before, but I've been very curious, and I just liked what I saw. She was in awe. Like, she kept telling me she felt so much love, as does anyone who takes shrooms, if I'm not mistaken. She just felt like one with the universe, and what held me back from taking shrooms was, am I gonna go on a bad trip? I'm a scaredy cat. So fast forward to a few weeks later, we're sitting on the couch. I ask her, again, please tell me about your experience. What did you feel? Because I might try some today. And so she's talking about it. And for some reason, as she's describing her experience, I felt what she felt. Not to that extent, but like I could feel like how amazing the experience was for her. And so that feeling led to other feelings about how I'm so grateful that we're here right now. We're having this conversation. I don't know, so a wave of gratitude just hit my chest, and I also felt this kind of heaviness with it. It almost felt like a sadness. It was weird, and it came out of nowhere. After we're done talking, she was like, let's just meditate. Let's see what this feeling is, and maybe you can explore that in the meditation. So we're sitting on the couch. I close my eyes, and this feeling of gratitude and grief get big. Like, it's so funny, the English language. You can't really put feelings into words. We can try, but it's not going to do it justice. But I felt all of this energy right here. It felt like something was pressing on my chest in an energetic way. So as I'm meditating, this sadness gets bigger and bigger. This love starts to like push in with the sadness. I don't know, to me, love and sadness kind of feel similar. Does anybody else feel that, or is it just me? So this feeling is getting bigger and bigger until I start noticing my breath is out of sync because I need to purge whatever this emotion is outside of me. Mind you, my girlfriend is sitting next to me and I don't want to disrupt her meditation. I'm trying to contain it until eventually I let it out and I start crying. And I was being very discreet with my crying until the feeling continued to grow. And next thing you know, I'm sobbing. But what's crazy is this sobbing, like when you cry, crying is a very magical thing. You're transcending something that you were once holding on to. That's what crying is. It's an emotional release, and the body holds on to things. So as I'm crying, I can feel my stomach contracting. I can feel my chest getting heavy. But as I inhale, I feel like I'm breathing in love. And as I exhale, I felt like I was purging this grief, this sadness. But with every inhale I took, I felt more love. And it continued to grow. I felt like I was breathing in some sort of drug. I don't know. It was so overwhelming. I've never felt anything like that before. This had to have gone on for, I don't know, a good 15 minutes. And so as I was sobbing and I started to calm down and I was just sitting in this love, that's the best way I can describe it. It felt like love, but not just love, unconditional love. This was big. This was, your human brain cannot comprehend what unconditional love is. Let me show you through feeling. So I started thinking about everybody in my life during this time. As I'm sitting in this love, I'm still crying, streams are coming down my face. I think about my family members, and this is where things got a little crazy. Every person that came to my head is like I got a glimpse of unconditional love for them. And it wasn't just that, it was information about them. Not through words, it was through energy, through spirit. It was so weird. Like I can't even describe it. For example, I thought of my cousin who I haven't spoke to in a long time. He came up in my head, and in that moment, I sensed that he was alone. He felt alone. Just because he popped up in my head, I feel like I felt what he felt in that moment. And I know it sounds crazy, and you don't have to believe me. As I'm like getting hit with this information on people in my life, I eventually stop sobbing. I open my eyes and I start laughing uncontrollably. Like I heard the funniest joke in the world, like nothing can top it. I started laughing so hard. I honestly felt like I was going through a manic episode. I felt like I was going crazy, but in the best way, because I wasn't scared. It was like something just like popped in my brain and in my heart, and I was just filled with so much bliss. So I'm laughing, and mind you, my girlfriend's sitting next to me, and she's just there through the motions, and you know, she's comforting me, she's rubbing my back. But yeah, I start laughing, and it's because of all the love that is just sitting right here, and I didn't know what to do with it. That's the best way I can describe it. I didn't know what to do with all of this love. I even received information about her that I shared with her. And then towards the end of this, I just sat and I looked out the window, just enjoying this feeling, because that's what it felt like. It felt like a high. And it was like a short glimpse of unconditional love. It was like it peaked and then it started coming down. After that happened, I'd say for the rest of the day, I still felt a little high. I still felt like I was riding the wave of love. And that continued on for the rest of the week. But it was, you know, minimal. It wasn't as big as I experienced it in that moment. When I look back on that, even the day after, when I looked back, I was just like, I wanted to know what shrooms felt like. I didn't take the shrooms. And here I am having this mystical experience. Did God hear me when I was inquiring about the shrooms? Because the whole point of me wanting to try the shrooms was to have a mystical experience. That's what I wanted. And so I felt like I was handed that. It's like God heard me and was like, here, let me show you what you're looking for. I hope you guys can believe me, because this stuff is just out of this world. Like, I don't expect a lot of people to. If you do believe me, thank you. And also, I want to know if you guys have ever experienced anything like this in your meditations, anything. Just comment below your experiences. Was it God? In my heart, yes, I knew. I knew what I was feeling, and it was God, because God is love. What I learned about love is it's not just this feeling that you have for somebody. It's not just a connection, but it's information, and it's creative, and it's psychic. Yeah, I mean, we're all psychic. Right now, I don't believe that a psychic can just will information about somebody. When I say will information, I mean, oh yeah, let me just hold your hand and tap into what's going on in your head. I don't believe that that's how that works. I believe it's spontaneous. I believe it happens when it needs to. Yeah, love is so much more than just, I love you. Yeah, it's very powerful, but it was like I was connected in a spider web. The spider web is the universe, okay? This is the best way I could put it. The spider web is the universe. I'm on this little line of web, and everybody is on the web, and I was connected to everyone, almost like the internet, without, the words and the pictures. It felt like a network. That's what it felt like. Now, this changed my whole perception on what unconditional love is. I feel like, yes, it is possible for humans to reach that. I feel like it takes a lot of work and practice, though. I was given a small window, a little glimpse of what unconditional love was, and it was the most beautiful thing I've experienced. But ever since then, I've really been working on my relationships, like mainly with my family, because, family likes to test you. And so I feel like I've been working on being more patient, being more understanding. Yes, they still get under my skin, but I feel like I'm just more present ever since that happened, more graceful. I'm a human being. Of course, I get frustrated, I get upset, but no, this experience changed my heart. I think my heart chakra opened. In the church, I didn't have a relationship with God. And if you are a Christian, if you have a relationship with God, I believe you. I'm not saying you can't be religious and you can't have a relationship with God. Not at all. God is everywhere. God is in everyone. So of course you can have a relationship with God. But because from my view, who God was a conditional God that punishes people. And so it separated me from God. And when I would worship God, looking for that experience, I never got it because of this fear holding me back. And so when I left Christianity, with this experience that I have right now, I felt God and what I would say God's true essence is, and it's just pure unconditional love. It's not a judgmental God that wants to harm you. God is just a energetic, loving, creative, infinite intelligence. That's what God is. God is what shaped this whole world, and we are in God's essence because we came through God. That's all that is. God is inside everyone, inside every living thing. I believe God is in the trees. I believe he's in the animals. I believe he's in you. I believe he's in me. And I say he, God doesn't have a gender. When I say he, it's conditioning. But yeah, my whole relationship with God shifted after that moment. And there were moments leading up to that where I did experience God, but this was a whole nother level. Where should you begin if you want to go down the spiritual path? Meditate, go in solitude, set your intentions. You have to be very clear about what it is you're trying to do. Clear your mind. That's how God speaks, in silence. I think journaling is a great method to understand yourself more. I think the ultimate goal for us humans is to understand ourselves and who we truly are. And it's not the personality, it's not the body, it's not the brain that's filled with all this programming. It's that we're little droplets of source and we're all one. There's only one. There's no division. There's no separateness. This universal oneness is not many people understand it. Every path is different. Just remember that. Your spiritual journey is going to be your own. In my opinion, it truly is worth it. Yes, you might be alienated, but it's worth it in my opinion. If you want to seek mystical experiences, you have to go through the path alone. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyways, if you're still here, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if you got something out of it, please like, please subscribe so it can help me as I continue to push videos out. I really want people to hear about this, and I just want us to come together and live in peace and harmony. Thank you for watching.